And it is very important that each time we find ourselves in a gathering like this, we seek divine intervention for the blessings of the program. May we take that instead of prayer please. Amin. That's national maybe or national peace. Once again, the distinguished and you are welcome to the launching of the Create Before You Graduates initiative, an initiative of Bello University, Zaria. And this is an initiative that is coming up with differencing the fact that the markets out there is saturated. Management of Ahmadu University, Zaria, under the stewardship of Aliyu decided to come up with this initiative so that students have something doing before their graduation from the university. At this point, with the permission of the chairman, the welcome address, may I respectfully invite the host of this event, the director myself, Professor Baba Aliyu. Please, a round of applause for him. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The chairman of the occasion, Professor Jelani, former Vice Chancellor of the Billionaire, the chief hosts, and the Vice Chancellor of the Professor Ahmadu, other Chancellor officers of the university, directors, deans, colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's really for me a great pleasure to deliver this solemn address at this historic occasion. The launch of this flagship program by the Vice Chancellor we call Create Before You Graduate. This is a very valuable initiative by the Vice Chancellor, whereby we look at the graduate individual. When they graduate, we declare them not only worthy graduate money, but having ideas that can solve problems in our country area and Nigeria in general. Since the initiation of this idea, we have been receiving support from Vice Chancellor. The committee will be aware that when we decided to propose award of $1 million for the top 10 members of this program, the Vice Chancellor said that we should consider 20 top ideas. And we have moved that there will be $1 million for each of the top 20 winners of this very important campaign. But particularly, for the first time, based on the idea of Vice Chancellor, we are going to showcase these 20 winners, the venture capitalists who are going from Harvard University to invest in this idea. So that we can see from the university pitching competition to actual solution of problem in Nigeria. You are all aware that our region has many challenges. Like I mentioned, for you. Nigerian population is increasing very rapidly at 3% per annum. By all experts, Nigerian population is going to be 450 by 2050. 60% will be in the north, 1 over 3 will be in northern Nigeria. So there must be jobs, and something that will take care of all these large number of people. Number 2, Nigeria has been declared a poverty capital law, and unfortunately, northern Nigeria is the capital of that capital. More than 80 to 90% of people in South Africa, according to recent estimate, are called poor by estimate. Which is going to bring them out of poverty. We must create ideas, we must create graduates who are going to develop jobs for the market. Lastly, the most important problem that we should keep in mind is that desert encroachment is real. And according to estimate, every year, 600 meters is encroached from north to southern Nigeria, Sahara Desert, which means in the next few decades, states like Sokoto, Kano, Yobe, and other Nigeria states will all be in desert. The only solution is to have climate resilient businesses that can help to control all these challenges. So therefore, this CBYD from the Vice Chancellor is coming at the right time to produce solvers of these problems. Otherwise, they will be there in the next few decades and nobody will solve them. So therefore, on behalf of myself and the other members of the committee, would like to express our appreciation to the Vice Chancellor for this very valuable initiative. Today we are going to have our speaker, the Sir of Soil, Jelani. I'm not going to give much of our team, but we're very lucky to hear from his ideas and from his seniors, and we hope it will encourage students and other participants at this very important campaign. So far we have received a large number, and we look forward to more initiatives. It closes on 1st of September 2026. On behalf of again of our staff, join me in appreciating the Vice Chancellor for this very large initiative. Long live Ahmadu University, long live here in Zaria, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Director. Please another round of applause for the Director. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed, may I also acknowledge the presence of Yusuf Montekakari, the Special Assistant to the Head of Service of the State. Welcome, sir. The Director of Public Affairs, Director of the welcome, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, moving to the next item, may I at this point invite for student remarks the Chairman of the institution, former Vice Chancellor of the University, Zaria, Professor S. Jelani, who is around the
start from our team. Let me say that this is my honor, privilege, and pleasure to be here in this hall once again. When the VC called me some time ago to find out if I would be willing to share this important occasion, he didn't have to beg. I quickly accepted for so many reasons. First of all, I always feel indebted daily for like thousands of other people every made us what we are, what we have been. And I think I'm going to die with that indebtedness unfinished or unpaid. For that reason, any opportunity I have, I try to come to the The second reason is that I also always want to have opportunity to be in the AU environment. I've spent most of my life in this environment. Having been associated with the university since 1972 as a student, then as a staff for 4 years. Again, I always see the opportunity to come to AU. Recently, I was here for tree planting campaign, and I was happy I attended. The third reason is the speaker. I was privileged to be here some years ago when he delivered, I believe it was a free communication lecture. It was well attended, well received. I think I mostly carried away by the American accent of the speaker. So that's pleasure to listen to him. I'm sure today is going to justify the confidence we have in him by providing what it takes to deliver this kingdom of grace. AU is a great university, and I can say we are all very proud to pass through it. And it is always a pleasure to be here. So lastly, I would like to thank the Vice Chancellor for inviting me to share this with you. It's my honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Some is another round of applause for the chairman, Professor Jelani. When Professor Jelani was Vice Chancellor of the AU, some of us were not. He became Vice Chancellor in 2004, and I'm sure 2004 some of us here were not born. Thank you very much once again, sir. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we are respectfully invited for his remarks the chief host of today's event, the Vice Chancellor of the prestigious Ahmadu University. Thank you.
The chairman of this occasion, very respectful part of this institution, former Vice Chancellor, Professor. Thank you for accepting to come despite short notice. The representative of the Registrar Corporate Affairs Commission, we represented here today by the Zonal Director. Our keynote speaker, the internationally renowned automobile designer, Mr. Jelani, Aliyu, members of the unique group that are here with us, members of the university management, principal officers, distinguished guests, members of staff, and most importantly, our great and dear students. It gives me truly great pleasure to welcome you all to this very important program, the Create Before You Graduate program in this university. Today is more than the launch or another university program. It is the launch of an idea, a culture, and a mindset. For generations, universities have prepared young people primarily to graduate, to seek employment and build careers. But the world into which our students are graduating has changed fundamentally. The jobs of tomorrow will increasingly be created by those who can innovate, those who can solve problems, and those who can create value and build enterprises. Our responsibility, therefore, as a university, is not simply to produce graduates who are employable, but was produce graduates who are capable of creating employment by themselves. That is the philosophy behind the create before you graduate. We want to activate the enormous creative and entrepreneurial talent that exists among our students, many of whom are here, and a big testimony of the progress that the university is making in that respect. We want to encourage them to look around them, identify problems, develop solutions, and turn those solutions into products, services, intellectual property, and viable businesses. We want our students to understand that a university education should not only prepare you to look for an opportunity, it should equip you to create one. And we have set ourselves this very ambitious aspiration. We want ABU to become a place that produces generations of billionaires from its campuses to tackle in some institutions across the world. Why not at ABU? We want ABU to become a place that produces generations of billionaires from its campus. By this, I mean young people who are able to build enterprises that create enormous economic value, generate employment, and transform communities, and contribute meaningfully to the development of Nigeria and Africa. I believe, and we all agree with me, we have that talent on this campus. From world leaders to national champions, we have that intellectual capacity. That ecosystem that we have must include mentorship, incubation, access to technology, industry partnerships, intellectual property, and enterprise registration, for which the Corporate Affairs Commission is here. Let me particularly welcome and appreciate our keynote speaker, Mr. Jelani, a world-renowned automobile designer. The chairman of the occasion has spoken briefly about it, but let me expatiate. Jelani was here in 2016 when he delivered the University's Free Communication Act. It was indeed a memorable occasion. Jelani, you spoke to thousands of our students and directed to dream beyond the limitations of their immediate circumstances. Many of those students still remember that encounter, as the chairman of the occasion has said. Today, almost 10 years after you came, you have returned to speak to another generation of our students. And I believe today's event will also make a big difference in their lives. We are particularly grateful because your engagement with young people has never been limited to your professional achievements. You have consistently demonstrated a commitment to discovering, inspiring, and nurturing talent among young people. Your presence here today, therefore, is perfectly aligned with the spirit of the great people you are doing. We thank you sincerely for accepting our invitation, and we look forward to another encounter that will challenge our students to think differently, dream boldly, and believe that their ideas can change the world. Let me also especially appreciate the chairman of the occasion. Professor Jelani has served this institution with distinction, and we are delighted that he has accepted to share this important occasion. Sir, your presence is a demonstration of your continuing commitment to our university and its young people. Thank you. I also wish to appreciate the Corporate Affairs Commission for its partnership with the university and for being represented at this event. The Registrar General would have been here for other pressing national engagement, and he insisted that corporate affairs must be fully represented here. If we are serious about student entrepreneurship, we must make it easy for students to move from an idea to a legitimate enterprise. The partnership we signed with the Commission way back in December will help us achieve precisely that by facilitating the seamless registration of student enterprises on our campus. We want a student who develops a promising idea to be able to formalize that idea, register it, and build a team to find solutions. We appreciate them for agreeing to sign that MOU with us. Now, we are celebrating today. We will today recognize many of them, the Huawei ICT Global Award-winning team, I'm sure they're here, whose remarkable achievement has brought honor to themselves, to Ahmadu Bello University of Indeed, to Nigeria. We will also celebrate the Enactus the power of student entrepreneurship, innovation, and social enterprise. I will also recognize our law students that won the ECOWAS report competition, demonstrating the excellence and that many of the Enactus team and thus of Hawaii cut across medicine, arts, humanities, law, and environmental design. To all of you, I especially say you have made us proud. Your achievements remind us of what our students are capable of when talent, opportunity, determination, and institutional support is provided. But let me also say this to you. Do not let this victory be the end of your journey. Let them be the beginning of something much greater. We are committed to supporting you to attend in the greater heights. Again, to our students, I want you to leave with a simple message. Do not wait until you graduate before you begin to create. Create while you are here. If you have an idea, develop it. If you see a problem, find a solution. If you have a talent, turn it into value. If you build a prototype, improve it. Like Jelani will speak to you about when he started as an automobile designer. Register it. Corporate affairs is here. If you fail, learn from it and try again. And if you succeed, do not stop there. Build something that creates opportunities for others. Your degree should not be the final product of your university experience. You should leave this university with more than a certificate. An idea, a skill, a product, an enterprise, a patent, a network, or a vision that can change your life and others. Last night, we spoke with Jelani. Some of the immediate challenges we face today is insecurity. I believe we have solutions here. We have challenging power. I believe our students can help us solve. We have students can help us solve these problems. A culture in which students do not simply ask, where will I find a job? But increasingly ask, what can I create? What problem can I solve? What enterprise can I build? And ultimately, how many people can I employ? That's the culture we want to create. Ladies and gentlemen, the future belongs to those who can create. Africa, indeed, Nigeria has enormous challenges, but those challenges also represent enormous opportunities. Our young people must be equipped to turn these opportunities into solutions. Early this year, the World Trade Organization Director General, Dr. Ugoza was here and spoke about the opportunities that the current global order has provided for our young people. In conclusion, let me congratulate and commend the organizing committee for bringing this initiative to fruition. The International Center for Rural Finance and Enterprise, the Directorate of University Advancement, and every other person, the Directorate of Public Affairs. Your contribution represents the kind of institutional partnership that we need if we are to translate this enormous. Once again, I welcome you all to the launch of this important program, and I hope in the next 1 year we will have some 20 billionaires out of this program.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor. Please another round of applause for the Vice Chancellor. If you see any problem, create solution. Instead of being a job seeker, be a job provider. Instead of being an employee, become an employer. This is very important. And it's high time our society transition. As graduates, we show the problem solvers, not problem creators. Once again, thank you very much, Vice Chancellor. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, the channel, may I respectfully call on the keynote speaker to please rise and remain standing while I call on Zaria for the reading of the citation of the guest speaker.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Chairman of the occasion. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I have with me here the citation of our others, the guest speaker, person of Mr. Jelani. Jelani Aliyu, LFR, is an internationally celebrated automotive and industrial designer and visionary with over 2 decades of innovation experience at General Motors in the United States of German industrial ecosystem. There, he designed the iconic Chevrolet Volt electric car, which has played a revolutionary role in global e-mobility. He is also founder of Jelani Aliyu Consulting, Qatar, and the Mashrabiya Group Nigeria. From designing the Chevrolet Volt electric car and several other significant vehicles at General Motors to spearhead the development of Nigeria's first solar power EV charging stations. Jelani has been at the forefront of innovation, sustainability, and industrial development. He has extensive professional and leadership experience in the industrial and social developmental sectors, with a career spanning the United States, Germany, Nigeria, and now increasingly in the Gulf states. He studied automotive, Mr. Jelani, designed at the College for Creative Studies, Detroit, Michigan of the United States, and then joined the automotive giant, General Motors, where he designed a number of successful vehicles for the company, including the Pontiac G6, Chevrolet Silverado, and the world-acclaimed Jelani produced the world-acclaimed Chevrolet Volt electric car. He was tasked by the Muhammad Buhari Blessed Memory Administration to come back home to Nigeria and help develop the local automotive industry. He was called to come and assume duties as the Director General of the National Automotive Design and Development Council. He spearheaded the development of vehicle electrification by enabling. He oversaw the development of the nation's first 100% solar power electric vehicle. And more that was done in Soto, Lagos. Mr. Aliyu led the development of over 20 automotive training centers across the nation. He also led the construction of the agency's state-of-the-art research and development center in South Zaria, Nigeria. Jelani is now in the private sector. He has founded and led two companies, Jelani Consulting in Bakar, Doha. Bakar also based automotive design consultancy for the development and also the Masharia Group, dedicated to iconic design and development and contemporary skills development. Jelani Aliyu is very committed to the development of our nation, Nigeria, and the protection of our environment. He has a passion to inspire fellow Nigerians to develop the inherent capabilities that lie within each and every one of us, and to remind us all that, irrespective of and beyond career, profession, and assignment, we must all achieve to work together and leverage our personal strength to make a difference to our societies. In addition to being an automotive industrial designer, he's also an architectural conceptualist, motivational speaker, technology and environmental sustainability proponent, and a dedicated mentor to the Nigerian youth. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Hamza, the Vice Chancellor of Distinguished Management. I present to you our keynote speaker for today, the public servant, designer, and innovator, Mr. Jelani. Please a round of applause for him. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The chairman of the occasion, former VC, Professor Sheikh Abdullahi, the chief host of the program, Vice Chancellor, Professor Ahmadu, representative of the Registrar CAC, all distinguished professors, students of ABU, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm indeed more than honored to once again be here at ABU. And illustrious, words cannot explain how proud I am to be here again and to be associated with this great institution. An institution that I believe is about 64 years old, founded by an incredible gentleman, an incredible leader, Ahmadu Bello. Talking about leaders, what does a leader do? A leader understands the lay of the land, where everyone is and where everyone needs to be. He provides the necessary strategic tools and the environment needed to achieve results. And that is exactly what the Vice Chancellor has done. You must understand how important this initiative is. Create before you graduate. He is enabling you with the tools to grab and run, change yourselves, and change the world. When we drove into the gate, one of the first things I saw to the left was the park. The trees, the grass, incredible setup. Incredible setup. It's a setup that you hardly find in the country. And I think it would behoove a lot of our environments to learn from this type of natural settings and apply it. Yes. And also driving, into the campus, so a lot of greenery and a lot of trees. Every one of those trees, has thousands, if not millions, of leaves. And every one of those leaves, every single one of them is a miracle. Those who have studied botany and biology know that millimeter thick is actually a highly efficient factory, taking in water and nutrients from the soil and building complex starches and sugars, the basic building blocks of all the food chain on the planet. Every single one of them. Scientists estimate there's about 3 trillion trees on the planet. Now you can only imagine how many leaves there are. That process, as you all know, photosynthesis is the same process in our crops, the yams, the rice that we all eat, the same process. I'm relating this for us to begin to understand what an incredible blessing that we have. And when you talk about the soil, Nigeria has over 17 million hectares of that, very nutrient-rich soil. The big question is, with all these blessings, with all these miracles around us, what are we doing about it? Being here and part of this for you is not a small opportunity. Why? When I was growing up, I always wanted to be a car designer. And I looked around me and there weren't any car designers. And a lot of people thought I was crazy having such wild dreams. Why do you want to do something that no one is doing? If you did go and learn automotive design, where would you work? But I had a dream, and I would not let anyone stop me from achieving that dream. Imagine a car moving. For those who physics, it's got momentum moving, right? It's got the mass, the speed, maybe some acceleration, maybe it's already gotten to as fast as it can. But it has already built up momentum, and it has to continue going. Now, what is your momentum? How far have you come? Where is it that you need to get to? Well, your momentum is very special. You are all, inhabitants of an incredible nation with incredible history and heritage. If you read the history books or if you've learned from your parents or grandparents, you know that we all come from incredibly great empires, kingdoms, and caliphates, where people were empowered to achieve their best. That is the momentum that you carry. Your history doesn't just start today. Your history has started. And so the challenges that our nation faces today virtually started in the last maybe 20, 30, 40 years. So you do not forget the momentum that you have carried through the ages that must continue. And programs like this will enable you to empower yourselves to that magnificence that Nigeria, that Africa, that you all have. So I never gave up in my dream to become a car designer. I looked around Nigeria, I looked around Africa, and there weren't any schools that offer automotive design, but I still wouldn't give up. So I got a book from a cousin of mine with all the schools in America, and I went straight to the part of art and design schools. I had never heard of any of those schools. I chose 3 schools with the names that sounded good. The internet. This was way before, with a click, you can reach out across the world and get information. So I chose those 3 schools, I wrote to them, and they sent back catalogs. Like I just looked at the websites. So I decided to choose one of them. Still thought I was crazy, right? Why do you really want to do this? I wrote to the one that the name sounded great, because I had never heard about it from anyone, the College for Creative Studies. They wrote back, and there were pictures in the catalog of this incredible building with an architect that looked like a spacecraft. I decided to apply there. And I later discovered that it's one of the best schools in the world to study automotive design. While studying at the CCS, College for Creative Studies, in those days, a lot of people were embarrassed to say they were from Nigeria. You know, if they were asked where they were from, of course, they were black people, but they'd say they were either African Americans or say they came from some other country. I was never embarrassed to say I was a Nigerian. I was always very, very proud to say I have come from Nigeria. And I came to be known as, the student from Nigeria when there were events or, presentations or Jelani Aliyu from Nigeria, and that was great. So you must never be embarrassed of your roots, because those are who you are. What you have to do is empower yourselves to run as fast as anyone from anywhere. And you can do it. It has been proven time and time again that yes, Nigerians can compete. Nigerians can come up with the greatest innovative ideas and win. Just here in Zaria, about 200 years ago, there was a great master. He was called Babangani. He was an architect and a builder. A lot of the palaces and awesome mosques built in northern Nigeria were designed and built by this great gentleman that grew up and lived right here in Zaria. So that is the culture I'm talking about. That is the ingenuity, the innovation I'm referring to. Something that you must continue. We're not just starting. It's not just about starting to come into Nigeria. These big ships take off from China, the US, America, and bring in a tremendous amount of goods into the country. So in a year, you have well over 2 million containers come to Nigeria bringing goods. Why such a huge number? Why so much logistics into Nigeria? 85% of the manufactured goods used in Nigeria come from overseas. The shoes we wear, the watches, the cars we drive in, the airplanes, phones, everything you can think of that is manufactured in a factory, 85% of them come from overseas. Now, no one is saying that Nigerians must produce. 85%. No one is saying that we must produce 100% of what we use, but for a country to be dependent, to have 85% dependency on manufactured goods from overseas, is quite simply ridiculous. It is, of course, to the growth and long-term sustainability of the Nigerian economy and the well-being of Nigerians. That is why you have to innovate, because when those goods come in, from the innovative aspect of those goods to the conceptualization to the production, manufacturing, has virtually zero Nigerian input. And yet, this is what, we depend on. And another crazy about this, a majority of the resources, raw materials needed to produce these goods overseas are available in Nigeria. But there's a huge disconnect between what we have in the ground and the things that we use. We cannot allow that to continue. If we did not have the capability, the intellectual capability, then we could let that slide. But as intellectually capable as we are, as talented as you are, this has to change. And this is an opportunity for you to do that, to show the world what you have inside. Because you cannot build a successful civilization with an economy largely based on simple consumerism. You can only do that with extensive industrialization, with massive innovation, the type of innovation that understands the problems that people face every day and comes up with the necessary solutions. And you can do that. I know you are studying many very different fields, but in each type of field, creativity cuts across. Innovation isn't just for, designers or people in the creative field, but it can apply everywhere. Why? Because creativity and innovation is about, understanding the problems that people face. When I wanted to be a car designer, the very first thing I did was, just design sports cars, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Lotus. But I quickly realized that industrial design is a tool for survival and economic growth. It is an avenue to lessen the problems that people face every day. And God knows we have a lot of them that are being overlooked. This is the opportunity. So you start with a problem, you start with a challenge, and you come up with the necessary solution. So those powerful capabilities that reside within each and every one of you must be reawakened. It all starts in the mind. If you can imagine it and clearly see it in your mind, then you're halfway there. You can and bring it to reality. You must never say that, advanced technology is only for countries overseas. When I started to talk about electric vehicles when I worked for the government in NADDC, a lot of people thought again that was a crazy idea. But it is crazy ideas that go around. So people said electric vehicles in Nigeria. A certain senator, Ben Bruce, tried to push that, and he didn't get enough support. So here you are, DG and ADDC saying you're going to do even more than that. We said, we'll try that. They said NEPA comes and NEPA goes. How are you going to charge electric vehicles in Nigeria? Innovation. We said, okay, yes, no NEPA. But what else do we have? The sun. From 115 million kilometers in outer space, still is a primary energy provider for the planet. And guess what? In Sokoto, Kano, tons of sunlight. Even Lagos, surprisingly, has high insolation. So we said, okay, no NEPA, but the world is going green, the world is going electric vehicles. We are going to do as much as we can to introduce and promote electric vehicles in Nigeria, So we designed and we developed 100% solar-powered electric vehicle charging stations. So that was a problem, and we worked as a team to come up with the solution. And now, as you're aware, there are more and more of these solar-powered electric vehicle charging stations popping up across the country. So we must never say, this is Nigeria, this is Africa, this is my town, this is my village. We can't do this. Maybe if we travel to this or that country, we can experience that, but not here. No, we cannot do that. We have to understand, adopt the most advanced technologies, the most advanced robotics, drones, nanotechnology, biotechnology, whatever you can think of. I'm sure there's a relevant field here that you can identify, grab it, and run with it. You know, the time of saying, you know, the age of saying, once again, this is Africa, it won't happen. Or maybe the African mentality will not, you know, go with it, is over. And you must also, you know, we talk about northern Nigeria, we talk about southern Nigeria, northwest, southeast, southwest. I think it is time that we think even beyond, not just beyond the regions, but beyond nationalism. I think deep inside we're all Africans, and we must see ourselves not just as Nigerians, but as members of a global community, sharing constructive ideas, sharing inspirations, and together coming up with solutions for the betterment of humanity. You seated here in this hall, or back at your stations, in your different classes, you now, with the tools available, both through the university and generally with the technology, you can compete and out-compete anyone from anywhere in the world. You can compete with anyone from anywhere, whether you're here in Nigeria or overseas. The world is different. Like I said, when I was trying to get admitted to the College for Creative Studies, I had to write a letter, wait for them to send back a catalog, look at the pictures and the terms and everything, write back and apply, and then get an admission letter again through the mail. Today, you just sit at your desk, on your bed, on your couch, and do all that. You know, the cell phone that we have, that everybody has, when the US sent a probe, you know, Apollo 11 to the moon, you know, all those sophisticated trajectory, the speed, so that when that spacecraft goes out there, it intercepts the moon and lands safely and comes back. It needed a gigantic computer as big as a room to go through all those calculations with hundreds, if not thousands, I'm sure, of, you know, employees at NASA. They say that today the capabilities on your phone, your smartphone, that smartphone is more powerful than the computer that sent Apollo 11 to the moon. So you have in your hands an incredible tool, coupled with the direction, mentorship, and lectures from here. You can create wonders. You can create wonders. So never underestimate the significance of human imagination. If you can imagine it and clearly see it in your mind, you can come up with the right solutions, and don't allow anyone to tell you you cannot achieve your dreams. I got a lot of that when I was growing up. You know, kids were out there playing soccer, football, great game, great sport. But my talent, I believe, alhamdulillah, was somewhere else. Why don't you go out and play football? Why don't you come hang out with us? Well, I knew I needed to hang out with my pen and paper, and I stuck to those guns. Understand your passion, understand what you're good at, and leverage that to come up with the solutions that society faces based on that. What are you good at? What are the circles around you empowering you to be able to do? Leverage that. to come up with the necessary solutions. You know, you read about, I'm sure a lot of you have also, traveled. You've seen what's happening in the Middle East. You read about or you see what's happening in China. Amazing. Not too long ago, both places were, really backward places, villages, and people really weren't having fun. But today, I'm just seeing a short video clip of China. If you haven't been there, it just blows your mind. Why? The same resources, the same inherent human capability that exists in China exists in Nigeria. The only difference is the psyche and the necessary tools and empowerment environment to be able to achieve such greatness. And that is what we have here. Create before you graduate. Is pioneering this. And I think you are very, very fortunate, very blessed to be part of this. And because this is a type of initiative needed to change nations, to create that advantage one of us deserves. And once again, changing Nigeria, another way to look at it, is not about 1, 2, 3 people saying we will do it, or a group of people with that responsibility. Creating that great Nigeria rests on the shoulders of every one of us, of every one of you. And you perfect spot to take advantage of that and create an incredibly great Nigeria. So I look forward to continue to work with you. I look forward to be part of this journey with you to create, a legacy that is untold. And this is great. Once again, ABU, because you're ABU. What you're doing is really beyond words. Words. So I urge you to grab what has been put in front of you, grab it and run with it. Change your lives, compete with anyone else in the world, and change the lives of the people around you, change the lives of humanity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please another round of applause.
Moves coming to your face with a then being located in the pages of history forever. That natural possibility as an inherent destination, one we must reach as a very hope for the very survival of our nation. Because the comes of all, this is huge for our future to be filled by the few artificial problems that we started to experience in the last 30 or 40 years. And so thank you. Each and every one of us must be able to create that new Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Please another round of applause for our speaker. My dear students, I hope you all understand. Oh, impressive. I believe from now henceforth, you begin to think like an employer, not an employee. Impressive. And then also, is the idea that will change Nigeria for the better. Also, the very concern. Now, the same ladies and gentlemen, with the permission of the chairman, sir. The chairman, sir, with your permission, we move to the next item, which is question and answers. So please, due to time constraint, we entertain questions from here, 2 here, 2 here, and then 2 here. So starting here, any question for our guest, for the speaker? Okay, merci. Already that's the hand.
Thank you very much for this speaker, and thank you for this inspiring presentation. indeed have been inspired. I was so interested in the presentation, particularly the age that you wrote a letter to join School of Automobile. Because I believe that time was the very young, tender age. I am asking the person for the purpose because they, our youths, at 35 and 40, we are still beating on that. We'll be glad if you can share the age so that we'll be more motivated and we take action as the current age of ours. Thank you.
Good day, Jessica, Vice Chancellor. It's nice being here and very wonderful day. I have a question. My name is Bishop Mohammed from the Faculty of Education, Department of Science Education. So my question is, what is the biggest mistake you have seen young entrepreneurs make when they are at any stage where they have real customers? Thank you.
Alright, good morning everyone. My name is Jelani. So my question is, the speakers, we talked about the fact that we have a lot of resources in the country that we are not utilizing very well. And as a student of materials and industrial engineering, I want to ask, because we have a seed company in Nigeria that is not functioning. And when it comes to development of building, especially the automotive industry, it requires skills and some material that have to do with that. But in the case of Nigeria, we are not progressing because of some of the problems we have when it comes to mining and getting these mineral resources refined and be utilized. So how do you think about that challenge? Because I think that's a very big challenge when it comes to Nigeria producing cars and some of these jobs we need basically for our advancements. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Ahmadu. What was one stage or project that made you became executive manager 10 years as a African designer? So the question is, what was the one stage of projects that made the Kenyan executive finally take you seriously as a African designer?
Thank you very much. My name is Ahmadu from the University. As I read your course of presentation, so really inspiring. But I think the part I was waiting for that you did mention are the challenges. I think you here as Nigerians, we have a lot of ideas that are very good, some of them are very courageous, and we are ready to start anything else. But sometimes the obstacles, how we get these challenges, so there are a lot of results on how we get these challenges, how we overcome them. I think for somebody like him that is on the world scene and the world spotlight, we like to get some challenges that we encounter so that each parameter will kind of tell us in that situation how I go about it.
And good afternoon everyone. I'm but I'm very passionate about agriculture. So my question is, as Nigeria over 85% of youth as an upcoming entrepreneur who wants to be very passionate about creating business from different environments when it comes to agriculture,
And as an outcome person, we create a product which want to sell it to the community. And at the end of the day, the people who pursue the other groups are superimposing on you. How do you overcome that challenge?
Thank you very much for those who have vision on this side and that side. We need to respond to the vision first and then have to comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Very great questions. The first one, I believe, has to do with how old was I when I understand I wrote to GM, or when I started that journey. And I think that journey for me actually started before I got to the US. That journey started in Nigeria for a very, very long time. I had always loved cars. Also, I had also always loved drawing. So I had put the two together to go into automotive design. And I remember the exact time or when I made that decision. You know, I had many different options, and I remember making that decision saying I would, by the grace of God, be an automotive designer. And I started to search. Fortunately, by the time I had completed FGC Sokoto, there was no scholarship from Sokoto State Scholarship Board, so I could not immediately proceed. So I studied architecture. You know, my second passion is architecture. But I also remember writing, even before going to school, I remember writing, and I think I did write to GM, you know, telling them about my passion and that I wanted to become a car designer. And I think they wrote back, I don't remember what they said exactly, but they wrote back that, I don't know what they wrote, but it wasn't, hey, get your bag and come over. So I realized, you know, everything is a process. You're great at biology, you want to be a doctor, you study medicine at a great university like ABU. Or if you're very good with art or design, if you wanted to go to ABU, you could come here and study art or architecture. So I looked at the guys, I looked at the individuals that inspired me. They were the designers, like I said, of Ferrari, the Lamborghinis, and these were Italian people, you know, Pininfarina, Bertone, and the path they followed was they went to a school, learned automotive design, and became professional automotive designers. So I started that search of those schools I could go to, and but still there was no scholarship. And you know, especially in those days, even now, studying overseas costs tons of money. But I remember writing to them and not getting favorable feedback. But then when I did go to school, and I left and went to the US when I was 23. And I got there in the middle of winter, very cold. Imagine from Sokoto, very hot, to Michigan, very cold. Quite a shock. So I wrote to them, and the way that school is structured, as you study, the companies come in, right? The companies come in and they begin to understand who could do what, who had how much talent, and they sort of monitored. And there were projects too that were sponsored by those companies, by Ford, by GM, and by other companies, Mercedes. So by the time you graduate and you put up your design, objective was, hey, look how good I am, and maybe you could give me a job. So that's what happened. When I graduated, they had been tracking us, but when I graduated, I actually was making plans to come back to Nigeria, because I told you I love this place a lot. And gotten a scholarship from Sokoto State government. But the lady at the Nigerian embassy that I had called to tell her, hey, buy me a one-way ticket back to Nigeria, she was for some reason not there. So I said, I'll give her 5 minutes, go back, and then call her so she could, you know, arrange my trip back home. But as soon as I stepped out for those 5 minutes, I said, hey, Jelani, where the heck have you been? GM is trying to get a hold of you. So that's how it started. They said, hey, we have seen your work during, you know, the presentations. come in for an interview, and the rest was history. And the second question, what mistakes do young entrepreneurs make? Well, let me say, when choosing to do a business or an enterprise or something that you're going to be pouring a lot of energy in, go with something that's in your heart, something that you love, something that you can work all through the night, something that you can work weeks without holiday. So if you choose something just because you think your friend down the road is doing it and it's making money, chances are you would not be able to put in the necessary effort. Even if it's a concept or an invention, go with what you truly believe in, go with what you truly understand, go hard into to make it a reality, and also talk to people around you that you know have succeeded in similar endeavors. If you can't meet them physically, read about them. Read autobiographies. You read biographies of people who are successful in that relevant field. And we may not all be great with finances. So if you're not in the financial sector, you own a business, team up with someone or use the services or help of someone who's very, very good with the numbers. So, limitations for the auto sector. You know, when you look at a Toyota, right, coming out of Japan, or a Kia out of Korea, yes, or, you know, a BYD now out of China. You have the designers, the engineers, but what else is behind that car, right? You've got hundreds that are part of the supply chain. There are companies. Fuses. Some what they do are, you know, the electronics. So you need an ecosystem, and anyone country, an ecosystem of suppliers with many, many different parts that come together to produce a vehicle. And we don't yet have that. It's growing in Nigeria, very few, but the most important thing is to have tons and tons of supplier base that can feed that automotive sector. From the processing of the raw materials all the way to who makes the brakes, who makes the steering components, so that they can all come together to produce that vehicle. Why GM took, I was writing so fast. What is it that made GM take me seriously? I think I answered that with the first one. It wasn't anyone's sketch, because they would never hire a person based on one sketch or one design. It's not about what you put in front of them right there, right? They need to see a history, right? A history, a well-packaged idea, well-packaged concept that says, I've thought this out all the way through. Our final project actually was for Toyota. They wanted a car for the future. So that was what GM came, GM came to see, like all the companies that came to see our final project, they saw Toyota. But in that Toyota, they saw who they would hire to work with to design Chevrolets, Buicks, and other GM vehicles. So it takes a whole package, right? There's not just one sketch, but a whole package. You know, you have the sketches, you have the models, you have the story behind it, and you have the way you present that project. How well have you researched? How much input has gone into creating that design? What journey did you go through? It shows them, yes, this person is there, and then we can work with him, or we can invest in what he is coming with. And I think that's very important as you come with those ideas, with those innovative ideas here, working closely with your management, with your lecturers, with your professors, and with others who will help you to really have a well thought out concept that is very feasible, very practical, that will add value to whoever invests money in it.
Overcome challenges. How do you overcome challenges? Well, you overcome challenges. I think it touches on the other questions. You overcome challenges by dedication, by never giving up. You cannot give up. If you have chosen a path, as long as you are, if you have chosen a path, you have to stick with it. You may choose not the best path and change, but for the most part, if you truly believe in something in you, you start working on it, get all the necessary support that you need to make it work. And another one, all these answers to the questions are very similar. The perfect mousetrap, and that's I wrote the perfect mousetrap because I think someone talked about the challenges that you would face if you have an idea. And that is why this thing is here. That is why ABU is giving you this opportunity to say what solutions can you come up with. And we are here to help you develop those solutions so that you can leverage those ideas and then value to you, to your society, and to whoever invests in that idea. So this is to help you with those challenges. If you are left here your own, yes, you have tons of these challenges, you probably wouldn't know what to do, but that is what ABU is doing. That is what ABU is giving you, that opportunity to make things great.
So I believe everyone have their own uniqueness in innovation and growth. So my question is, what is your uniqueness that is different from others that builds your innovation? Thank you, sir.
Please good day to you all. My name is Ahmadu from the Department of Mass Communication, Faculty of New Sciences, Ahmadu University, Zaria. So, sir, thank you for your speech to start part 2. And my question goes specifically to you. I just want to know if you feel financial field, or what is the most challenging part of your journey, and how has that contributed?
One day, one thing. You can raise your hands to start with.
Good day, sir. So, my name is Maruka Ahmadu. Promotes foolish content or content that makes little to no sense because of its funny and belittle people with intellectual ideas and solutions. In such an era, what advice can you give an intellectual person, someone that moves towards the intellectual field and is already like their content is being like society that they want to promote? What advice can you give? And in an era of AI and technology advancements, where AI is already replacing jobs, the labor market is going down drastically because of AI. For instance, even graphic designers don't really have jobs anymore because AI are taking over the graphic design industry. How then can you tell someone like that wants to progress, but the area they find themselves in and the era they find themselves in is already against them, it's like that is already 10-0, and whatever they think of just seems to be delusional to them. So anytime they don't share their idea or want to grow, people tell them that you are being delusional. You also pay attention to momentum. Now, momentum going to be being delusional, and to what extent can we be delusional? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Isai here in Law Students. The question I have is not intended for law students, but actually intended for students who want to go to engineering, because I have a young brother that needs to do course here in university. My question is for Nigerian students who want to actually actualize what they've been learning in the field of automotive engineering. Are there essential opportunities in some of these institutions you've established here in Nigeria for these students so that they can go and see how what they are learning are actually practical? organized? That's my question.
Thank you. Sir, I will give to respond to the motions. I'm coming.
Another set of very important questions and addressing two. The first one has to do with uniqueness. I'm not sure if the question was my uniqueness or what uniqueness a person needs to succeed. For general uniqueness, everyone is already unique. You know, there's over 8 billion people on the planet, but every single person is unique, and every single person is special. The only difference is some people don't really get to understand how special they are or what their talent is. But when you discover that, you will see that there's something that only you have, that's something that only you can bring to the table. So once you identify that, you run with it, you really try to develop it and make it the best you can. The difficulty, what was the most difficult in the journey? You know, CCS was an art and design school, so you think you just go there and have fun, every day you just go pretty pictures and you go through. But it's one of the most competitive schools in the world, I believe. Yes, it was in the US, but there was hardly any time doing so. So don't get too concerned about taking over jobs. Yes, you know, some single vehicles out in India. So any one of these companies can be
As well. How can entrepreneurs of today in Nigeria come into policy? Because sometimes you might have an idea of something, but before you even are not favorable for us, we the young entrepreneurs, maybe it has to go through the standard organization of Nigeria, NAFDAC, MDLA as well. Thank you.
One is similar and one is not between your hard time. I think the greatest, those two cars standing side by side. So yes, policy comes, policy goes, some policies take longer than needed, but do become superheroes, become supercharged in terms of having the best idea and see what the market does. Inshallah.
Thank you very much, Comrade. But it's like we have so many dictionary correctors and so many mathematical calculators. Thank you very much for that. And for other students who have questions, the discussion continues. This time for we cannot entertain all questions, but I believe there are times when the discussion will continue. And ladies and gentlemen, please, if you have any business idea, even if that idea is crazy, maybe one of the top 20 billionaires that Aliyu will produce in the nearest future. What's the message of very much, sir? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with permission of the chairman, we quickly move to the next item, which is presentation of certificate and token proposition to the keynote speaker and Vice Chancellor of the Recognition and actors who are being involved in winners of national and international competition. To start with, may I respectfully invite the Vice Chancellor and the keynote speaker, Mr. Jelani and Aliyu, to please come forward for the presentation. Comrade, where did you come this? The members of Anactus, please get ready, one by one. The Vice Chancellor, sir. The Vice Chancellor, sir, you are not yet done discharging the task, sir. Please come forward for the presentation of the certificate.
Thank you very much, sir. We are honored. We'll start with those that presented. IMC Heritage.
Waziri.
Presenter Joseph Ishaku.
Waziri.
Next. B. Chindo. Rahamati Bisgambo. Aliyu. Second crown. Pius Josephine. Abubakar Fatima. Emeka Solomon Abigail. Ogonia Clifford Thomas. Sinkali Daniel Olaniwaju. Atiku Abubakar. Isa Robert. Joseph Musa. Rufai Oziri. Salim Selina Kashu. Divine Godwin. Olokoba David Oluwadamilola. David Okechukwu. Stephen Sunday Adiku. Tana Fanen Manasseh. Ozomani C. Rahama. Mbakisen. Umaima Abdurrahim Oyanumi. Lucky Godwin. Zoka Batamukar, Arafat Masood, Olani Young Abu Samad, Yolako, Umani Blessing Michael, Lawal Ridwan Ellington, Karim Adedayo Karim, Abdul Fattah Oladipo Olusoyati, John Peace Ele Ojo, George Ope Oteku, Ajara Abdul, Onoja Augustine, Muhammad Kabir Umar, Aderemi A. John, Obi Kaza Glory, and Onoja Ibotu, Jessica Eddie Omugo, and Abdurrahim Silika Ubaiza, John Ayomide, Sahadi Ahmed Ismail Bayani for enactors. They won first prize and they represent Nigeria at Sao Paulo, Brazil in November. Next, we're going to another set of proud winners, the Huawei Global ICT Competition. Sufyan Ibrahim, Sefiu Bolaji Wakili, Rukaya Hassan Labo, Muhammad Hadiza, Kumba Bana AI, Bekani, Khadija Ali, then Grace Benitayo Olorunfemi, Dundu Haruna Lawal, Abdulrahim Olajumeji Adekunle, and finally Huawei Yakubu Musa. They won ICT Global Competition held in China, Schengen, and they are winners. Thank you. Our next set of winners again are law students that attended the Authentic Institute of Religious Society International Mediation University Competition. Nadia Jeremiah Babajire, Bello, Isa Ibrahim Elia, and Angela Ada Precious, Mabuka Arama Ozarize, Yunusa Dade Muhammad, and invite Munirat Aderewa, Aliyu Musa, Imam Muslim Barao, and then Zaria Abdul Wahab, and Abdul Bello Waliyat Moren Kelly.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor. Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor. Please allow me to applause for the Vice Chancellor. The Vice Chancellor, sir, the Chairman, distinguished members of the High Table, we have a posthumous certificate for the law students that just came here to collect their certificates. Their patron is Dr. Omar Sandy of Blessed Memory, who passed away 24 years ago, sir. With your permission and with the permission of the Chairman, may we observe a minute silence to honor his memory. Thank you. We pray the Almighty Allah forgive shortcomings and grant him eternal rest. Thank you. Now, the Vice Chancellor, we move to the next item, which is summary of key main ideas by enactors who are we and law students. To start with, may I invite members of enactors. Members of enactors, we're going to be very particular about the time. Please, be free. And then after enactors, who are we get ready, please, and the law students.
Your Excellency, Vice Chancellor of the PN's Director and Editor, our key speaker of today, good morning, good day to you all. My name is Ahmadu, and I'm CEO of the Enactors and the University. Enactors is a network of entrepreneurs that we have to identify problems in our community and develop solutions to this problem. So briefly, we are our team members who presented at the national competition to give a summary of what we presented to the entire house to listen. These are the work of our presenters. Thank you very much. That's the other. Okay, Enactors Nigeria, you may now begin your presentation.
It's absolute, sir. A deadly pest barely visible, popularly called tomato Ebola, one of the most destructive pests affecting tomato production in the world today. It burrows into the leaves, then into the stems, and finally into the fruit itself. In a few days, what looks like a healthy farm is completely destroyed.
Tomato alone causes more than 80% crop loss, and it does not stop there. Once these pests arrive, living is almost impossible. They return, season after season, turning farming into a taboo these farmers cannot.
In 2025, tomato farmers in northern Nigeria lost an estimated 20 billion naira due to Tuta absoluta. That is an equivalent amount of food that can feed over 10,000 malnourished women and children for a whole year. Ladies and gentlemen, Tuta absoluta has invaded over 40 African countries, where it has become one of the biggest threats to tomato production and farmers' livelihoods.
To better understand this problem, we conducted a comprehensive needs assessment in Kokami, Katsina State, one of the largest tomato producing communities in interviewed over 300 farmers in 3 days and discovered that 7 out of 10 farmers experience massive crop loss due to total absolute every season. From our needs assessment, farmers face a critical gap in access to a consistent and affordable solution against total absolute, depending listed on costly synthetic pesticides that fail to fully eliminate the pest, also leading to outbreaks and continue to endanger their lives. One question persisted in our minds: how can we help the farmers in poor farming communities?
To solve this problem, we invested over 9,000 hours to brainstorm, research, and experiment. And after over 73 failed formulations, we finally had a breakthrough.
Ladies and gentlemen, Limpest!
Limpest is an innovative organic pesticide that is made from locally sourced leaf plants containing antibacterial active compound. It is designed to attack, eliminate, and prevent the destructive nature of total absolute.
This pesticide decides tomato leaves, making conventional pesticides with single mode of action less effective. What makes Limpest stand out is that it works by direct contact or when ingested by the pest, allowing it to act even when the pest is hidden within the leaves.
Our production process includes sourcing our raw materials, mixing and processing them into an effective biopesticide, formulated without harsh synthetic chemicals, making it a safer option for farmers and consumers. We tested Limpest at the Institute for Agricultural Research in collaboration with the Department of Crop Protection, based on our industry standard trends.
Limpest won action with Africa Early Stage Challenge, ending us a non-equity fund of over 750,000 naira. We invested this fund into product standardization, field validation, and commercial sales law.
A liter of Limpest is produced at 4,000 naira and sold for 5,500 naira, giving us a profit margin of 27.3%, compared to synthetic alternatives at 10,000 naira per liter, giving us a strong competitive advantage in the market.
We conducted market research and discovered that the market for agrochemicals in Nigeria is worth over $3 billion, with a growing demand for safer and organic pesticides. Limpest products are strategically positioned to capture a significant share of this growing market.
We operate on a business-to-business distribution model, and to fully penetrate the market, we are collaborating with major agrochemical stores in Kaduna, Kano, and Katsina to explore expansion opportunities.
To drive grassroots sales, we secured a partnership with NAERLS, providing Limpest access to over 360 farmer cooperatives, 7 adopted communities, and thousands of farmers across Nigeria.
During our needs assessment, we also discovered that many farmers were applying pesticides incorrectly, from wrong dosage and timing to wrong products. This results in excessive chemical use, increased production costs, and harmful residues on harvested tomatoes.
Now, to address this gap, we partnered with East in Nigeria to train farmers on proper pesticide use and integrated pest management. Through this collaboration, we trained 75 farmers across 5 communities on correct selection of pesticides, calibration, and integrated pest management. These farmers now serve as distribution agents of Limpest in their community.
And to extend our impact, we leverage our partnership with NAERLS to extend this knowledge to farmers in their communities. Today, over 800 farmers have been trained collectively, creating a ripple effect that is expanding both our impact and our customer base.
While we celebrated the victory of solving the problem of pre-harvest loss, and these farmers now have bountiful harvest, we move to the next big challenge. Time. Tomatoes begin to spoil almost immediately, and under normal conditions, they deteriorate within 3 to 7 days if they are not processed.
24 million tons of tomato, ranking the second largest producers in Africa. Yet, 45 to 50% of this harvest, equivalent to around 1.8 million tons, goes to waste due to poor storage facilities and inadequate processing capacity.
In a country where over 3 million people are already food spared, that is not waste. It is food security slipping through our fingers.
We witnessed this challenge firsthand. Farmers with the traditional method of slicing tomatoes and spreading them on bare floors, which exposes tomatoes to dust, insects, and microbial contamination, compromising food safety, reducing quality, and diminishing their market value.
Determined to solve this problem, we developed our second phase solution. Ladies and gentlemen, Tompa!
Tompa is a food processing brand that transforms excess fresh tomatoes into long-lasting products. Vibrant color and nutritional value.
Our flagship product, Tompa Classic, uses dehydration technology to convert fresh tomatoes into a powdered form that can be stored for up to 9 months without refrigeration. It can be prepared and sold within 10 minutes, making it a safer option for farmers and consumers. A 100-gram sachet of Tompa Classic costs 1,200 naira to produce, and it's sold for 1,800 naira, generating a profit margin of 33.3%.
Following the Enactus Nigeria seed grants, we designed and fabricated an industrial dehydrator capable of processing 70 kilograms per production cycle. This increased our from 50 units to over 1,000 units.
We operate in a business-to-business and business-to-consumer model. Our customers include students, restaurants,
busy professionals, retailers, and businesses that require convenient tomato products.
The opportunity for tomatoes extends far beyond reducing waste. Nigeria imports over $350 million worth of processed tomatoes annually, highlighting a significant gap between domestic production and value-added processing.
Summer is positioned to capture 5% of this market opportunity, representing a potential market of approximately $75.5 billion. To serve a broader range of our customers and to capture even more value across tomato market, we expanded our product line. Ladies and gentlemen, Summer Fresh Puree.
Summer Fresh Puree is a ready-to-cook fresh tomato product made from 100% fresh tomatoes, offering customers a more natural alternatives while compromising on convenience.
We tested Summer Fresh Puree against other brands at the National Research Institute for Chemical Technology, NARI, and discovered our product delivers 60% more tomato solids per gram.
A jar of Summer Fresh Puree is produced at 2,200 naira and is sold at 3,000 naira, giving us a profit margin of 26.7%.
We are currently in discussions with CD and Sons, Carry Stores, and retail outlets across Kaduna and Abuja to expand our physical distribution network. Also, we launched our e-commerce platform and our businesses and customers from other locations to conveniently order our products.
To support our expansion strategy, we engage with media to assess funding opportunities and national market linkage and establish distribution channels that will make Summer products available to customers across Nigeria.
Summer Nutritious Food was invited by the Kaduna State Commissioner for Business and Innovation to exhibit at the Kaduna International Trade Fair, where we showcase our products more than 1,000 visitors, introducing consumers and investors.
This is not just a solution, it's a restored system. A restored road for thousands of farmers facing tomato losses. And for all of us unwilling consuming food with harsh chemical recipes. This is changing because when our farmers rise, the nation rises with them.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our earlier 2 points that our earlier speaker made mention of. He said first, over 85% of all of the products we consume here in Nigeria are imported from overseas. And this is one of the things that we identified through our project. That's over $350 million worth of tomato, processed tomato, is imported to Nigeria every single year. And we are putting tomato, and saying that this tomato is going into waste. So we said, what can we do? And come up with this solution, the best solution. Okay, I don't want to do much because of time. So thank you very much for that opportunity. And thank you to the University of Alabama and the Vice Chancellor also for giving us this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, another resounding round of applause for members of the actors. ABU, where will you find these great ideas? ABU to the world. Members of ANAPTUS will be representing not only ABU. They are not representing ABU, not representing Kaduna State. They are representing Nigeria in Brazil come November. Please, another big round of applause. Thank you. There are distinguished ladies and gentlemen for another 5-minute presentation. May I invite members of Huawei? Members of Huawei, you have 5 minutes. Where are you, please? Okay. Do you need the mic?
Teammate and the practice category. Innovation idea-based category. Participants in this category are tasked with coming up with a novel idea to a problem and develop a project around that idea. The practice category, which I took part in, is an exam-based category where participants are given a problem from a real world based on the track they are in. We have the cloud track, the computing track, the networking track, and other tracks like programming. And we are expected to present a solution for the scenario laid out for us. Speaking more on the solution developed by the innovation team, Khadija Khalid.
In a country that reports over 54 million deaths and malaria tests in 2025 and over 100 deaths of children under 5 daily, as reported according to World Health Organization. Not because we lack hospitals or health professionals, rather delays in diagnosis. This leads to the development of paraglidation. It's an AI-powered diagnostic support system capable of running 2 tests simultaneously to detect malaria and stool parasites in 60 seconds. Coming with a camera printer of instant results and a solar backup campaign. This was built by Team Baby in 2026. This system was built using quality ecosystem, including the anti-free can processor, capable of running 20 trillion tons per second. Despite the slow and human error in traditional methods in Nigerian hospitals, it still costs health authorities for over $50,000 annually in a single health center. While our products that provide automated, highly accurate and reliable process will cost you $700 only with a minimum of 5 years guarantee. Paramedical is not just a device, it's a lifesaver, it's a scalable business. If not intestinal parasitic infection, I believe almost all Nigerians are once victims of malaria parasites. This is not just a device, this is not just innovation. Paramedical is Africa, paramedical is Nigeria, paramedical is Faculty of Engineering, Ahmadu, Bello, University, Zaria. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. We look forward for the development of this and it's generating the revenue we are expecting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, members of our ladies and gentlemen, members of our audience. Then, members of the Faculty of Law. Their presentation is in two segments. One is a litigation presentation, and the other one is out of course presentation. Please, a round of applause for them while they come to the lecture for the presentation.
The chairman of the hearing is permitting me to stand on the already established protocol. Good morning, good afternoon, sorry everyone. My name is Ahmadu from the Faculty of Law, Ahmadu, Bello, University, Zaria. And we are going to, the Faculty of Law actually recently participated in 4 international competitions, and the faculty emerged victorious in these 4 international competitions. 2 competitions are court-based competition, which we count as mediation, while 2 competitions are out-of-court competition, what we call ADR, alternative dispute resolution, which is another method of resolving disputes, but out of court. We have ECOWAS Medellin edition, most of the competition, it was held in Abuja recently. I think the participants have come forward for more collaboration. The faculty actually submitted a memorial to the ECOWAS. A memorial is just like the written arguments of, or a summary of what you intend to orally argue in court. So we submitted our memorials, and our memorials happen to be the best memorials. 8 home universities were selected to participate in the oral rounds. We participated in the quarterfinals where we went against 2 universities and we emerged at the top. We went to the semi-finals and to the finals and emerged victorious. Second is the International Humanitarian Law Competition organized by the ICRC, International Committee of the Red Cross.
I think the participants can come forward as well. So the focus of the equally submitted in Warriors, which is a summary of the written argument, and it happened to be the best written argument. 4 top universities were selected, and Ahmadu Bello University participated in both the semi-finals and the finals, and we equally emerged victorious. And I'm glad to share with you that ABU really represents Nigeria at the African Regional Rounds in November in Nairobi, Kenya. So my friend will be speaking on the ADR competitions that the Faculty of Law participated.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, the Professor, the Vice Chancellor. So, the 4 competitions we participated in. The first competition was the International Mediation and Diplomacy Competition, IMDC, organized and held in Armenia, where Ahmadu Bello University emerged as the third place team in the entire world, defeating teams from countries like Russia, Ecuador, Syria, Chile, and India. These are the awards we won from the competition. These awards were sent all the way from Cyprus, and these are the medals, 6 medals, as well as the sash. I would like to invite the members of the IMDC to please join us on the high table. The clear questions, Ahmadu, Karama, and Bello. The second out of 4 competition we participated in is the foremost foreign direct investment arbitration competition. It's the foremost competition on investment arbitration because there is no other competition of that prestige. And I am pleased to announce that once again, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria emerged second place in the All Africa rounds. We are the only Nigerian and West African team that has qualified to participate in the Globals in Shenzhen this October. I would like to invite the participants to also join us on stage. Jelani, Ahmadu, and Adirewa Ahmed is already on the stage. And to cap it all, the team equally won a $1,000 prize to sponsor the team's participation in the global rounds happening at the end of October this year. However, unfortunately, that $1,000 cash prize will not be coming to the team if we don't travel to Shenzhen for the global rounds. So we are using this medium to plead with the university's leadership to help us in attaining the glory that we are meant to attain. Team ABU is the best team, not just in Nigeria, but in the whole of West Africa and Africa itself. We also were awarded as the best advocate team, and that is what led us to this stage we are in. The speaker who talked about how far we've come and how far we are willing to go. I believe this is more than enough proof that we've come far and we are willing to go even further. I'll hand over the microphone to Michael.
We actually award our sincere appreciation to the Faculty of Law and the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria as well, for providing us with this enabling environment to compete and excel in all these competitions. This is to show that we can actually compete globally, just like the keynote speaker has said that we have talents in Nigeria and specifically in Ahmadu Bello University area. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you very much to members of the Faculty of Law. Please, another round of applause to members of the Faculty of Law. Sometimes we wonder, is ABU really Nigerian university? Because Enatus representing Nigeria in Brazil, Huawei representing Nigeria in China, and the law representing Nigeria in Shenzhen. Please say ABU to the world. Louder, ABU to the world. And there are only 2 universities in Nigeria. You can see that it is, in fact, it's evident in our just concluded cultural calendar, the only cosmopolitan university in the whole of Africa. You can see that in the God bless you. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with the permission of the chairman, moving to the next item, may I at this point, for his ruling message, respectfully advise the Registrar General of the Nigerian Corporate Affairs Commission, ably represented by the Zonal Director of Kaduna. Give us a round of applause for him while he also comes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jelani, Aliyu, for this for your insightful understanding. I salute you on behalf of the Chief Executive of TSC for the exceptional alignment. As the first setter that you are, you already have set the pace for our people. But we are also movers. One, we are coming from different backgrounds, and for the fact that my CEO is a senior leader of the data who will have leadership my shoes more forward than I. All the same, we'll try to do our best. We have 2 items for you this afternoon. That's the average saver and a short guide on how to register businesses by yourself and for yourself. I would like to the chairman of education and former vice chancellor, the vice chancellor, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, who I'm happy to meet today for the second time. Mr. Jelani, said our partners in industry and entrepreneurship development. And most importantly, the great student of Ahmadu Bello University. The great outside, in the world. I salute you all. My name is Ahmadu. I'm the Zaria of the Commission. I'm really honored to be associated with the official launch of this special initiative. Claimed before you graduate, although I'm represented here today by the head of the Kaduna office, I want to assure you that I consider this initiative of great strategic importance in the future of our young people and indeed in the future of the nation. From job seekers to job employers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I've come today with a simple but very important message. Our universities should no longer graduate only job seekers, they must graduate job employers. Nigeria does not have a shortage of intelligent young people. We do not have a shortage of ideas. We do not have a shortage of creativity, as exemplified by our distinguished speaker here. What we need is to transform these talents and ideas into business, enterprises, innovations, and sustainable economic value. That is why the philosophy of trade before you graduate remains so strongly in the Corporate Affairs Commission. We want to see a generation of graduates who leave the university saying, in quotes, I'm not only looking for where to work, I have created something that can employ others, and quote. When we do certificates, at this and this brings me to the proposal that I would like to place before the management of Ahmadu Bello University. Why should a student graduate with only one certificate? Why can't we create a system where before graduation, every student is encouraged and ultimately required to establish or formally register an entrepreneurial venture where appropriate? The student will then leave the university with two important credentials. First, an academic certificate recognizing the knowledge, discipline, and professional qualification acquired from the Ahmadu Bello University. Second, an entrepreneurial certificate recognizing that the student has developed, registered, and participated in building a formal enterprise or entrepreneurial initiative. This is not about replacing academic excellence. It is about adding economic relevance to academic excellence. A student can therefore graduate not only as a Bachelor of Arts, engineer, lawyer, scientist, or other professionals, but also as a young entrepreneur with a formally recognized business identity. The University of Abuja experience. This is not merely an idea in theory. The Corporate Affairs Commission has already commenced this direction of partnership with the University of Abuja, where we are working towards encouraging students to formalize their entrepreneurial initiatives and leave the university with a stronger foundation for economic participation. The experience demonstrates that our universities can become important incubators for formally registered businesses. But I say this today, with every respect to my colleagues at the University of Abuja, ABU Zaria should not merely copy what has been done elsewhere. ABU should lead as they are known to be leading. Because this is how we build a university. For decades, ABU has been recognized as a university that sets standards, produces leaders, and influences national development. ABU has also been a precedent. Has always been a precedent. I beg your pardon. Therefore, I challenge ABU to take this initiative to another level. Let us make ABU a model where students are not simply encouraged to think about entrepreneurship, but are systematically prepared to create, formalize, own and grow enterprise before graduation. CSC's commitments. The Corporate Affairs Commission is ready to be a strategic partner in this journey, having signed an MOU with the university. Our role is not simply to register companies, as the law students can testify. We want to facilitate the transition from idea to enterprise, from enterprise to formal business, and from formal business to sustainable economic value. We can support awareness and capacity building around business registration and formalization company and business name structures, corporate governance, intellectual property awareness, compliance, responsibility, digital entrepreneurship, access to formal markets, fundamentals of business, of building sustainable enterprises. The objective is very simple. Before an ABU student walks out of this university gate as a graduate, the student should already have started thinking like an entrepreneur. Why registration matters? Some may ask, why is CSC registration so important? The answer is simple. Formalization gives an entrepreneur identity. It gives a business credibility. It creates a foundation of which the university can grow, and access opportunities, attract investment, and participate meaningfully in the formal economy. We should therefore change the perception that registration is something an entrepreneur does only after becoming successful. No registration should be part of the journey to becoming successful. Let us teach our students from the university that their ideas have value and that valuable ideas deserve to be properly structured, protected, and developed. A new kind of graduates. Distinguished, imagine the impact of the graduating class of ABU produces thousands of young people who are not only academically qualified but have also been exposed to entrepreneurship and enterprise creation. Imagine a graduating student, graduating class, where instead of asking, where can I get a job? Thousands of graduates are asking, how many people can my enterprise employ? Imagine the economic value that can be created when those continue to grow their businesses after leaving ABU. That is how universities become engines of economic transformation. That is how education becomes connected to education. And that is how we begin to access to address youth unemployment. Not simply by asking government and businesses to create more jobs. Young people to become creators of jobs themselves. A challenge to our development. So today, I respectfully challenge the management of the Bello University. Let them lead this movement. That's the challenge. To develop framework where credit before you graduate becomes more than an annual program. Let it become part of culture of ABU. Let entrepreneurship become part of the identity of an ABU graduate. Let us work towards a future where a student can say proudly, in quotes, I came to ABU to earn a degree, but I'm leaving ABU with a degree, an enterprise, and capacity to pay jobs and hope. That would be a truly transformative achievement. And when the history of Nigeria higher education is made, and which ABU should be remembered not only for producing great scholars and professionals, but also for producing a generation of job creators and employers labor. Conclusion. The Corporate Affairs Commission is ready to partner with Ahmadu University in making this vision a reality, and we have indeed started. We are ready to bring our experts, our platforms, and our institutional support to the table. Right now, as I speak, I'm here with my team, a full team of experts, company business aggregators that are here to receive all what we want in terms of business organization. They can register here from start to finish without having to tell you one or one. They are here. You can explore this opportunity to meet them. They are there outside. I sincerely hope that, today's launch will mark the beginning of a new chapter in the relationship with the CSC and our Bello University. a partnership that will transform students from potential job seekers into confidential into confident entrepreneurs and future entrepreneurs. With the students, I leave you with this. Do not wait for graduation to start your future. Think before you graduate. Register before you graduate. Build before you graduate. Employ before you graduate. And ultimately, graduate as a job employer, not merely a job seeker. That is the future of Nigeria. That is the future Nigeria needs. That is the opportunity before us. And that is the opportunity that Ahmadu with his proud history of leadership and excellence is uniquely positioned. I thank you for the opportunity to be part of this historic occasion. Not only Ahmadu University, not only the Government Affairs Commission, not only the Federal Government of Nigeria. Thank you. That has been the good message of my chief executive, Ishaq Hussein, senior advocate of Nigeria. On the other hand, we are to give you a short guide on how to register your business by yourself and for yourselves, or maybe do it for others. I believe corporate affairs commission is not new to all of you here. Most of you must have some knowledge or heard about corporate affairs commission, with the exception of the law students. The Corporate Affairs Commission was established by the Corporate Affairs Act 1990 and enacted. It was enacted in 1990, but later enacted in 2020. The present current regulation. It is the only government agency responsible for registration, regulation, and formation among the country. We are therefore pleased to inform you that CS of entrepreneurial activities. Skills acquisition is vital for personal economic empowerment. Therefore, reducing over-dependence on white-collar jobs. First, the students to become job creators instead of seekers. Let me just try to go straight to you what you need to do your administration by yourself. Benefit of registering your businesses. The benefit of registering your businesses is it offers you legal protection. If you register your business, it has credibility that you have with customers. You cannot be running a faceless business. This is what we call in sales identity creation. The essence of registering a business mainly is for identity creation. You cannot be running a faceless business as if you have something behind. You must have a name, you must have a number for which you identify. So it allows you also to have access to government incentives, funds, and opportunities such as loans and grants from government and from the banks of industry and of NGOs. You do not expect to get loans from anywhere as an entity without being registered. Recently, we have been working on all periods of credits to make sure that they register their business. Nigerian Board of the agency in charge of statistics have recently gave a report that over 70% over 70% of monies being demanded by bandits and other kidnappers is coming through POS. I wonder how we can speed whereby 90% of those end are not registered in the CAC. Recently, the management of Valley and Master University came to report that some periods of operators collected tuition fees from students, but they are trying to track them, including back then. So this one is risking every business without any business. So contract, a simple contract will enable you without registering. You have to register before you obtain any contract. It enables you also to get visa for your businesses or for your medical business. Once you are using a company to obtain a visa, the first thing the embassy asks you is, where is your business registration certificate? It's upon you giving you them this documentation that they allow you to use. This not registering your business. All the aforementioned benefits turns out to be a disadvantage. You won't afford to get them without registering. So I don't have to belabor you by reading out the disadvantages. The entire advantage of just very much will be huge, as I said. For you, we have about 3 or 4 types of business. Business types incorporated process, limited liability companies, limited partnership, and partnership. So for you to be having the enabling infrastructure to register your own business, you must have a very good handheld device, either a computer, a laptop, or a computer, a laptop, or any equipment that you have that you can be able to do all this. You need an active email. You need a telephone number. You need to have your addresses, your own bank app in that handheld device. So the moment you have this, you can now go to the website and begin to upload your documents. The website is www.csc.org. So you can upload this commercial registration. You first start by opening an account. You open an account. We do open an account for private. We normally register through agents. What we are going to give you today here, registration not through an agent. You can register without necessarily going. They can teach you how to do it. So I implore all of you to take that advantage and make sure that you are here till when the time was for us to seriously the community. I will begin here. We can be here permanently as a organized branch of corporate administration. You don't have to go to Kaduna or Abuja anymore. You can come within a very university. All other regulatory agencies like NAFDAC, they cannot be decision without having CAC. If you go to NAFDAC, you need to start your problem. So why is this? Whenever any banks cannot operate without CAC, we are actually the gateway of the nation's economy. There is no way you can start any conceivable business in Nigeria without coming to CAC. So we have brought our service to your doorsteps now. So we enjoy all of you to please take advantage of it.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I think that you have done, sir. Thank you, sir. You can now do this. Now we need this announcement for another 5 minutes to message. May I invite the representative of the Federal Minister of Finance, Mr. Lampo Ibrahim. Mr. Lampo Ibrahim,
our chief host, the vice chancellor of this great institution, Professor Adamu Ahmed, our keynote speaker, Mr. Jelani, Aliyu. Great ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I learned about this Zaria 37 years ago. My father was a student here. He told me much about it Zaria, but today it has confirmed that what my father years ago, that every Zaria is the best university in South Africa. That has been confirmed beyond this. I'm so happy. I'm celebrating. I hope I'm very good because time you will collect the 70-meter program of federal government implemented by Federal Ministry of Finance. You will collect the 70-meter program of government implemented by Federal Ministry of Finance, which aim at discovering what factors that are militating against the growth of small and medium enterprises among the youth in Nigeria. What are the problems, what are the challenges that are discouraging the Nigerian youth to start their own business? Our university system is just teaching us to be interdependent on one certificate. The era have gone. That is why the federal government have been sending us to NYC camps to tertiary institutions. That we should please start something. And if your problem is funding, we are here, we will support you to start up your business. That is why we are here. So we will get started during President Jonas. Back then, one businessman will write a business proposal, we send it down to the Ministry of Finance, it will undergo some screening, and the sum of 10 million will be given to you to start your business. Some 15 million as the case may be. This money is not low. This money is for you to help the federal government do one thing to unemployment is low. So federal government has discovered that it has the lack capacity to employ every graduate. So the best option for federal government is to empower some graduate, some young Nigerian entrepreneurs. Help federal government provide employment. By the time they establish a business, you will employ other youths. They will work on other youths. Therefore, you are helping federal government to reduce the unemployment rates. That's all. But during President Jonathan, some that access money, they abuse the money. The bill is a national bill. After 6 months, they will go around to check how are you faring. Are you really making progress? This money is so long as Abella said. They will go around and check in case you need anything. But when we went around to check, it was very unfortunate that 70% of those Nigerians that access this money this one. Forgetting the fact that this money is meant for you to help federal government to fire employment. And we be here, we have groups that will be discussed very shortly. The title of the book is Successful Nigerian Entrepreneurs, How They Started. The federal government finding out from successful entrepreneurs. Please tell us your story. How did you start? What were the challenges you faced? The way we were asking our keynote speaker, Mr. Jelani, how did you start? What are the challenges you faced? In every business, So the story is packaged. Successful Nigerian entrepreneur, how they started, the challenges they faced, and how they overcame. Please, when you get this book, read it as if you are preparing for your exams. This book is very rich. It's true story from Nigerian entrepreneurs. In page 1 of this book, the story of Ahmadu, the CEO of L&Z Farm, captured my attention. This guy is in Kano. He's a multi-millionaire today. He told us a story that when he was in primary school, he was about to go to school one good morning. His mother called him and said, "Abubakar, he came back. The mother was holding her ear. This is the woman that never gone to school. He said, "Abubakar, if you want to make money, start your business. If you just want to manage your life and be sitting there up and down, work for government." Abubakar was in primary school. Abubakar was confused. But he said, "Okay, don't be about it." He left for school. After his primary school, he went to secondary school. He finished university. He worked in banking sector. But the advice his mother told him was still really his man. Abubakar resigned and started his business. He was into farming business. Today, he's exporting milk to almost 14 African countries. He's in Kano here. You should find out the story is here. Come from an individual water. When the school is good, these are the days is good. But the era of developing a certificate alone are gone. Please, to take a long story short, he grabbed your business plan and he brought to start business, and your problem is funding. I will draw my phone number, please. Let's start. My WhatsApp number. Only those that are serious, you don't carry God again. If we can get 50 students in Ahmadu, Bello, University, Zaria, we are satisfied. We don't carry God again. 090 23 44 82 20. 090 23 44 82 22. Please, let's start. It's my WhatsApp number. Yeah, for those who are still want to start with me, please let's start. Federal is already here because it's all for federal government and everybody. So you empower to start your business so that you will help federal government to keep some of you off the street. To help federal government to fight all this unemployment. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, let's put hands together once again for Mr. Amplified. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, on the good message, may I invite the Faculty Advisor of Financials, Professor N.K. Aliyu.
Thank you. The chairman and the vice chancellor, the guest speaker. I'm not here to give a speech, just to be very on the actors. An actor's debut is about 22 years old. What they do is usually innovate, invent, and also produce businesses. We have represented the university more than 6 times in 5 or 6 different countries. I organized materials in all those competitions. This year, what we did as the student presented was to tackle the problem of donation, both pre-harvest and post-harvest. What you listen to is a situation whereby the team created solutions for the pre-harvest in terms of pest solution, whereby the pests attack tomatoes. Then the post-harvest, that's the post-harvest loss, where the team created solutions in order to produce powdered tomato and then pest management. So we're targeted to support to contest with 36 other countries around the world. And that's what we're going to do. And we have the support of many different organizations, the University First,
and we have support from all over the country. They are organizations that support the team. So the main thing is that, as the guest speaker said, these are students that we gather from different disciplines. They are not particular in any discipline. And we have mentored them throughout the years, and they have created products, and this is the several ones that we have. Our lead product is a shoe polish that we produce. It's the first made Nigerian shoe polish that the team has produced, and the first airport finally in the world, and we have it, and it's a product that is only found within the Directorate area. That is what the team is doing, and we are continuing to do that every year, and we're sustaining it year after year. So that is the story of the actors. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Picking the solutions and time for the vote of thanks and closing remarks made by the host of this event, the Directorate of Advancement and International Education, Professor Ahmadu. Please round of applause on the welcome to the team. So sorry, I sincerely apologize for that. Before we go for thanks, may I hand over the microphone to the chairman for the closing remarks. The chairman, sir.
Thank you very much. To say that we are getting tired is an understatement. However, I want to say a word or two on what employment used to be, or employment opportunities used to be in Nigeria. Using myself as you said, case study. In 1977, when I was about to finish my NYSC, I got 5 job offers, and I didn't apply for anyone. I had an offer from Kaduna State Government, then Northern State. About 2 offers from AAU departments, and 2 departments from University of Nigeria. Because I chose AAU. When I reported, within 4 days, I had a big house filled where I was better. I had an office, and you will not believe this. 2 people entered my office and introduced themselves as one a car dealer, the other one is car insurance agent. And they were the ones who told me that my application for car loan was approved. This is how it was. This was how it was. Now we all know what is happening. So the writing is clear on the wall for students, for graduating students, that they cannot rely on government jobs anymore, because jobs are few and usually owned by some individuals, or group of individuals. So you have to think of what you can do with your hands or your brain, whatever. I think this kind of activity that we witness today is really the beginning of what university should be doing. Tell their students what to do when they graduate. So to the speaker, I know someone is going to thank you officially for enjoying your lecture. I was not know that when you first gave your lecture here, a few people swore that they didn't understand some of what you said because of the heavy American accents. But it seems that the Nigerian English accent is pretty big, by the way. Who knows maybe the next time we can give that like pidgin English. So thank you very much for the presentation. Always something for this kind of yes. As for the students who won various competitions, we say congratulations. We want to encourage you to continue
except they will be very proud of you. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, quickly, may I invite the group of thanks, the Director of the Directorate for Advancement and International Education, Professor Ahmadu.
I would like to Chairman of Education, let me stand on the protocol already established and proceed to do the business of thank you. Let me begin by appreciating our indisputable chairman, our former Vice Chancellor, Professor Aliyu, for accepting to serve as Chairman of Education. I want to particularly thank you for the kind words and guidance, invitations, and opportunities for you to serve your alumni. We appreciate you and thank you for the family. Thank you so much, sir. To Mr. Jelani and Aliyu, also say thank you for accepting our invitation and sharing with us your experiences, insights, and vision for life, going back to your youth up to now. Your lecture, presentation has reminded us of very important truth that the university experience for any student is not complete by obtaining a certificate. We must learn to create new jobs for ourselves. We must learn to self-confidence, to equip us with the creativity and capacity to create solutions and to create opportunities to create value for our society. To our Vice Chancellor, sir, we want to appreciate the clear sense of commitment, your visionary leadership. Your role has been the driving force behind this initiative. Indeed, in fact, the Director has updated the back and you block all the process. We want to thank you for this visionary leadership. We want to acknowledge the fact that your commitment to ensuring the experience of every student extends beyond lectures, examinations, and certificates to now include creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship, exposure, and real-world problem solving. Thank you so much for your leadership, sir. Indeed, the university is witnessing a very broad transformation taking place across all the campus. We can see a deliberate effort at creating experiences and to challenge our students to think differently, to discover their potential, and prepare themselves not simply for employment but for impact and value creation. We are grateful for this visionary leadership, sir, and for the ability to translate into reality. Vice Chancellor, sir, we want to also acknowledge the fact that we are aware of the fact that you are challenging us by this event to build a university where our students not merely graduate from the university, but graduate having created something that makes a difference. Again, we say thank you so much for this. Our appreciation goes to the Center for Finance and Rural Economy, for Entrepreneurship, for coordinating this event with us. The event laid there in the source of control of entrepreneurship and the learn and the source for it more. For our students, particularly the laureates, those from the actors, those from law and Hawaii, we appreciate the laureates that bring to the university and we urge you all to continue to engage in activities, and for others or members of these associations, please endeavor to enroll or at least try to find something that will make you to create something before you leave the university. Finally, I want to, on behalf of the university, thank Mr. Jelani and Aliyu for the profound mission they have given us. I want to pray that God Almighty takes each and every one of us back to our destination safely. May God bless you, Zaria. May God bless the development of Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have finally come to the end of this event. But before we do this, a special announcement. To all students, you have seen how Ahmadu will be traveling to Brazil. Rob will be traveling to Shenzhen and Nairobi. Huawei to China. Please, if you know you have not registered for Create before you graduate, so the deadline for registration is 1st of September. as such. This was a very good number of entities was please register. We are really capitalists to give. They are going out, but we are really venture capitalists to give. And mind you, for those of us who are very much concerned with lives, we invite investors here, they come here, the companies will sell their ideas to them, and you get partners. Who knows, by next year, you will get Dangote, you will get someone for who you So please, register. We can, now that you have the opportunity to register. And then also, on behalf of the CBY committee before you graduate, under the leadership of Chairman, Professor Babale, the other members of the Zaria, Zain Abdullahi Musa, Dr. Rashid Sadiq, Mukhtar, Ahmed, and then my own self, Ahmadu. We say thank you to the Vice Chancellor of the University Management for the opportunity given to us. And please, after the closing prayers, there is going to be a good photograph with seats. First, we start with members of the high table. After members of the high table, the members of the high table with members of the NATOs, members of the high table with members of who are we members of the high table with members of law, then with smart general, then student only level with a representative of the Federal Ministry of Finance. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ahmadu. I'm from the Public Affairs Directorate Office of Vice Chancellor in the University Zaria. We started with years. Also, this event has been relying on the official university YouTube channel. Ahmadu University Zaria, so you can log on YouTube. You subscribe and click on the bell notification icon for you to notify each time any important university is doing. We started the years, it's also very important that
shi magana kun kuskure saboda rubutu ai ka san ba zai kun kuskure wala ya sa mana daga dai ya sa mana Daud ya kashe mic din ka gane kuma ya an ci albarba na da